What's up everybody, and welcome to the World of Warcraft patch 6.0 survival guide. In this video, I'll give you a quick walkthrough of some of the most important changes coming in patch 6.0.2, the Iron Tide. Remember, for the full details on everything that's happening and why, there are complete patch notes with developer insights available at worldofwarcraft.com. The first thing you'll probably notice when you log into the new patch is that many of our original character models have been updated. The human, orc, dwarf, undead, night elf, tauren, gnome, troll, and Draenor models have all been given a massive visual update, with higher quality models, smooth animations, and more detailed facial customization options. We've done our best to make your new and improved character feel as much like the original as possible, but if you're not completely happy with the new you can hit up the nearest barber shop to change your hairstyle, accessories, and even check out the new face options. As this patch is the precursor to the Warlords of Draenor expansion, there's some new pre-launch content that will give you your first taste of the Iron Horde. In the Blasted Lands, the Iron Horde is beginning its invasion, and the Alliance and Horde are taking their first steps to push them back. You can undertake a series of level 90 quests to repel them and earn some special rewards, such as the Iron Starlet Battle Pet and Iron Vanguard title. Meanwhile, a special level 90 version of the updated Upper Blackrock Spire dungeon will be available. That version of the dungeon, as well as the Blasted Lands rewards, are only available until Warlords of Draenor launches, so be sure to check them out. The next thing you might notice is what we're calling ability pruning. Over the years, we've added more and more abilities to each class to the point where we were actually running out of room for them on your action bars. With Warlords of Draenor and patch 6.0, we wanted to refocus each spec's ability set on their core gameplay and make sure every spell was there because it's fun and interesting and not just another button to push. Some abilities are now only available to certain specs, and some have been removed entirely. We also took a hard look at crowd control abilities and thinned those out substantially, especially in PvP, where it can be frustrating to lose control of your character for extended periods of time. Patch 6.0 also includes some major changes to gear. The biggest one is what we've been referring to as the stat squish. Each new expansion has brought exponentially higher numbers, both on your gear and in the amount of damage and healing you deal or receive. We wanted to bring those numbers down to earth a bit, so we've gone through and adjusted gear from previous expansions to scale at a more reasonable rate. The end result is that you'll see a lot lower numbers on your gear and in the amount of damage or healing you do. You'll also have slightly fewer hit points, though we've purposefully left health pools a bit higher to make burst damage less important, particularly in PvP. And don't worry, we've squished all of the creatures in the game too, so you're every bit as effective against them as you were before the squish. Aside from the stat squish, we've added some new stats and removed some others. Hit, expertise, dodge, and parry have all been removed from gear and replaced with some new stats: bonus armor, multi-strike, and versatility. Multi-strike will allow your damage or healing spells to hit multiple times, and versatility will both increase the damage and healing you do and reduce the amount of damage you take. If you're not sure which stat you should go after, check your spellbook. Each spec now has a passive ability that gives a raw benefit to one secondary stat. Bonus armor is a new stat for tanks that will reduce the amount of damage you take and only appears on rings, necklaces, cloaks, and trinkets. We've also replaced spirit on a lot of gear, but greatly increased both base mana regen and the amount of regen you get from spirit to compensate for having less of it on your gear. Valor and Justice points have been removed from the game, and any Valor or Justice points you had have been converted into gold. Most of the stuff you used to buy with Valor or Justice, you'll now buy with gold instead, with a couple of exceptions. Item upgrades can now be purchased with lesser charms of good fortune at 50 charms per upgrade. Heirlooms are still available via honor points, the Darkmoon Fair, and the Argent Tournament in Icecrown, but the NPCs that sold them for Justice points have been removed temporarily while we work on the Heirloom Collection feature for a future patch. Speaking of which, one of the new features in patch 6.0 is the Toy Box Collection. Here, you'll find all of the fun little toys you've picked up, such as the flippable table or the puntable marmot, instead of having to carry them around in your inventory. You can open the toy box by pulling up the Collections window and clicking on the Toy Box tab. Patch 6.0 also includes our brand new Premade Groups feature. You can find it by opening the Group Finder and selecting Premade Groups. You can make or find a premade group for basically anything: quests, dungeons, raids, arenas, battlegrounds, or even a custom group that doesn't fall into any of those categories. It's a great way to find new people to play with, or get into content that doesn't work for random matchmaking. If you're into PvP, you should also check out the new Skirmish feature, which will allow you to queue up for unranked 2v2 or 3v3 arenas, either by yourself or with some friends. That pretty much covers the most important updates and features in Patch 6.0, but there's a lot more going on, so be sure to check out the full patch notes on worldofwarcraft.com. It'll give you a complete listing of everything that's changed, along with insight and explanations directly from the development team. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in Azeroth.